Hey world history, welcome to U8-L3, all about plagiarism. Yeah, not the most interesting of topics. Alright, but let's get through it anyway. So if you are new to me, which some of you are, most of you are like, yeah, I know that's Miss Corey in that video right there, but yes, this is Miss Corey, and I will be talking through what is plagiarism and how we can avoid it. So your job, questions I ask you today that I just wanted you to answer on the Edpuzzle will be in blue text. Of course, as you can assume for this introduction unit, so for this guide or anything, so you don't have to write anything down, but it would be really good to slideshow when we have to do our paper, because that's really important not to plagiarize in. Also, today I will be grading on what answers you get right or wrong. So typically for Edpuzzles, I just grade on if you gave an educated guess, especially for like lesson Edpuzzles in, like when we get into the unit, stuff like that, like for this upcoming Renaissance unit, and then after that, the Mesoamerica unit. Typically, I just grade if you give me a good guess, but today I will be grading on what you get right or wrong, so make sure you pay attention. So in your own words, do not Google search this. What is plagiarism? Yeah, so there's, kind of a variety of different definitions, but kind of the simplest one would be the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. I got that one from the Oxford Dictionary, by the way. So we're going to do some scenarios today and how we can avoid plagiarism. So, scenario 1. Sally is writing a paper about goats. In her paper, she includes the following Wikipedia sentences in her paragraph without quotation marks. Goats have been used for milk, meat, fur, and skins across much of the world. Milk from goats is often turned into. So, as we can see here, Sally copied and pasted that 2 sentences directly off the Wikipedia page for goats, and that is a no-no. Okay, so this is considered plagiarism. Okay, Sally just copied and pasted it and didn't give source to where she got these 2 sentences from. But there is something Sally can do. So here is my question for you. What can Sally do to make it non-plagiarized? Is it A, change one word around in the sentence, B, add quotation marks and parentheses of where she got the source, or C, change up at least half the sentence to make it her own? B and C are both correct answers. So let's talk about making it a quote. So if Sally were to make this a quote, the first thing that she would probably do is put quotation marks around the sentences she copied and pasted, right? I'm sure you guys probably learned that in like middle school, maybe even school, okay? That's the easy part of it. Now, this is kind of an interesting article. So with Wikipedia, there's never an author, okay? So typically you would give credit to the author, but since there isn't one, and some other websites don't have authors either, we are going to give credit to it by just using simply the article title, which for Wikipedia, in this case, is just goat. So this is a little tricky, and I'm going to quiz you on this a little bit later, so make sure you pay really close attention to this. So you can see here, I put a quotation mark, okay? Put in the sentences that Sally wanted to use for her paper, okay? When I got to the goat, cheese, I put another quote, okay? Notice I did not put a period here. I make a space, and then I put in the first parenthesis. After that, I put in another quote to show that this is an article title. Then I put the article title in, which is goat, another quotation mark, ending parenthesis, and then I put the period. Okay? I'm going to walk through that one more time with you. So, first thing you do is you put the quotation mark here, your sentence that you want to use, quotation mark at the end of the sentence, no period, parenthesis, quote mark of title of the article, quote mark, parenthesis, period at the very end. She could have also reworded it. So if she reworded this sentence, that would also be not plagiarism. So let's say she reworded it to, throughout most of the world, goats are used for items such as milk, meat, fur, and skins, and goat's milk is typically turned into goat cheese. Do you see how I changed that? Or Sally changed that, sorry. From this sentence to this sentence? Yep, that would not be considered plagiarism. All right, let's do another scenario. Coda is making a Google Slides about pecans. In his slide, he writes, pecans grow wild and cultivated throughout the American South, Midwest, and Texas. So you can see here is the article he got it from. So what are pecans? And this time we have authors, but to make it even extra tricky, we have two authors. We have Danilo Alfaro and Alexander Jones. You can see here, right here in the article of where he got that quote, so pecans grow wild and cultivated throughout the American South, Midwest, and Texas. Okay. What can Coda do to make it non-plagiarized? Is it A, change one word around in the sentence, B, add quotation marks and parentheses of where he got the source, C, change up at least half the sentence to make it his own? Yep, same as last time, B, and C, okay? Either do the quotes or change up the sentence. So let's make this into a quote first, okay? So very similar to the goat example, but now we have authors. So follow along with me here. So Coda would put parentheses here at the very beginning, okay? Put in his sentence he wants to use. Put in the quote mark, okay? Put the parenthesis. And this time, because it's not an article title, you don't need the quote marks on the inside of the parentheses. All you need to do is put in the two last names of the two authors, okay? So that'd be Alfaro and Jones. Then you put the second parenthesis, period. Okay, I'm going to walk that through one more time. Okay, so you would put in the quote mark, put in your sentence, put in this quote mark, parenthesis, Alfaro and Jones, parenthesis, period. Okay. All right, here's another scenario. Now, this one's not as critical because I doubt a lot of you are going to be quoting song lyrics. But just let's pretend. So Hannah's texting her crush, Brett. She really wants to impress Brett because she knows he has a love for correct formatting of the English language. Brett asks her to send him her favorite song lyrics. So Hannah sends him, "Gravity's holding me back. I want you to hold out the palm of your hand." So Brett is furious and sends her back the proper way to cite these lyrics, and Hannah now has no chance with Brett. So this is the proper way to cite song lyrics if you ever do that. I don't think that is ever going to happen in the class, but it's very similar to the goat and the pecan example. Just the biggest thing is when there's a break in the lyrics, instead of like clicking enter, putting spaces in, you actually put a slash, okay? So gravity's holding me back, slash, I want you to hold out the palm of your hand, parentheses, or sorry, quotation marks, and then in parentheses you put in the people who wrote the song. So that would be Styles, Johnson, and Harpoon, parentheses, period. All right, I won't quiz you on that one, don't worry. Okay, now let's try switching around the wording / adding in your own words to make a sentence not plagiarized. So here are some examples that I have. So in 2016, Styles and the other members of One Direction decided to take a break from recording and touring, enabling Styles to pursue a solo career. So I reworded that as Harry Styles went on to a solo career in 2016 after he and his fellow members of One Direction chose to take a break from touring and recording. Okay? It gives the same information as the original sentence, but it's in my own words, so it's not plagiarism. Here's another example. Gladiator takes place in 180, and is loosely based on historical figures. Roman forces, led by the general Maximus Crow, defeat Germanic tribes, bringing temporary peace to the Roman Empire. So I rewrote this as the movie Gladiator stars Russell Crowe as Maximus and takes place in ancient Rome in 180 AD. In the movie, Maximus is a Roman general who defeated Germanic tribes, which causes brief peace in the. All right, now it's your turn to practice. Okay, so this first one here is multiple choice. What is the proper way to make this sentence into a quotation? Okay, the sentence is made of durum wheat or semolina spaghetti is the most widely used of the chord pastas, which are cylindrical and solid. Okay, I got this quote from Britannica, and the article title is called Spaghetti, meaning that there's no author. And if you kind of need a reminder of what we did with the goat example, here is the screenshot from that. So, what is the proper way to make the sentence into a quotation? Yes, it would be B. So again, you would put the quote marks made of durum wheat or semolina spaghetti is the most widely used of the chord pastas, which are cylindrical and solid. Quote marks, parentheses, quote marks, spaghetti, quote marks, parenthesis, period, at the end. So again, there was not an author, so that's why we put in the article title with the quote marks. All right, question 2. What is the proper way to make this sentence into a quotation? So it says, mincing helps to distribute the flavor of the ginger more evenly throughout a dish so that you don't end up with a huge chunk in any one bite. I got this from the website This Roots Eats. The article title is How to Mince Ginger, and the author is Danilo Alfaro. So if you need a reminder of our example, our pecan example, it's here at the bottom. So what is the proper way to make this sentence into a quotation? The A. Okay, so we got quote marks. Mincing helps to distribute the flavor of the ginger more evenly throughout a dish, so that you don't end up with a huge chunk in any one bite. Quote marks, parentheses, Alfaro, parentheses, period. So that's the author, so we don't need quote marks around the author, okay? That's why it's just standing alone in the parentheses. All right, so I doubt any of you are ever going to use books as a resource. So if you do ever cite a book, you can email me. I will help you out of how to do that. So make sure that to put resources of where you got a quote from in your MLA citations whenever you do like the paper, which will be in a few units from now. Otherwise, I'll think, who the heck is Alfaro, or wonder what spaghetti article you got this info from. Okay, so make sure you always do the MLA citations so I know exactly what resources you're getting information from. All right, now let's practice rewording a sentence. So here's your first one. Reword these sentences into your own words so it's not plagiarized. Here's your first one. The last major alterations to the White House were made in the 1960s by Jacqueline Kennedy, wife of President John F. Kennedy. Renowned for her beauty and refined taste, she collected and displayed items of historic and artistic value throughout its rooms. All right, here's the next one. Reword the sentence in your own words so it's not plagiarized. Once upon a time, in a faraway swamp, there lived an ogre named Shrek, Mike Myers, whose precious solitude is suddenly shattered by an invasion of annoying fairy tale characters. So when rewording a sentence, it doesn't have to be the same length or as complicated as the original sentence. If you need help finding a different word to use, I always suggest using thesaurus.com. So, wrapping up, it's easy to plagiarize, but with one more minute of your time, you can save your behind by either adding quotes or rewording the sentence into your own words. Because if you don't, then you get a 0 on your assignment, and that's going to be really, really sad. And plagiarism isn't just for papers or projects. Some of you like to copy and paste vocab words from the internet into your study guides, which is not great because then you get zeros, and I cry a little bit inside. So moving forward, just make sure you're not plagiarizing, not just for social studies, but for all classes. And of course, If you do it, you get a 0 on your assignments, which again just kills me a little bit inside. If you have any questions for me, write so in the answer box right now, or you can email me. If you don't have any questions, just type in none. Next up, you're going to do U8-L3, sending an email, and thank you for participating. Bye.